What's up, conscious creators? Alex here. In this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you how to be more socially confident even if you have anxiety. And there is a reason why this video resonates with my heart so much and why I'm so passionate about sharing with you the way out of social anxiety. Because I myself am usually seen as socially confident by other people. I've had many comments on it. I've organized and ran social events. I coach other people, helping them to become more confident. And yet, I struggled with anxiety my whole life. I suffered with many of the most intense panic attacks, and I know what it feels like to feel socially withdrawn. And perhaps, like you, I thought that this would hold me back from being socially confident. However, I discovered not only is this not true, but there is a way of using social situations in order to deepen peace and presence in your life, which is exactly what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video. So stick around until the very end of this video because you're going to want to get all the information so you can apply it properly and get the positive results. So just a very quick announcement before we get straight into it. A few more slots have opened up for the free one-to-one with me to see if you'd be a good fit for the Consciousness Revolution program over at speaktoalex.com. So head over there if you're interested, or wait till the very end of the video to find out more. But without further ado, of course, let's get straight into it. Now, in this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you how to feel and be more socially confident even if you have anxiety, in a way that's very different to most other videos on this subject, because it's going to get to the very root of why you have anxiety to begin with, so you can see what the fear that's holding you back from social confidence is really made of, which means you'll be able to use the anxiety as a teacher, as the challenge that helps you awaken from a whole spectrum of fears into deeper presence and peace that will permeate your whole life. I've used these exact teachings with my one-to-one coaching clients and seen many of them transform in a way that puts them on a continuing journey of self-discovery. Now, other videos might tell you to do some kind of gradual immersion technique, learning to gradually immerse yourself in social challenges until it feels normal and natural. And I want to first say that this is a great technique. Practice and repetition with anything produces undeniable results. And if you feel more competent, you're going to feel more confident, as there is a type of confidence that's built on a foundation of competence in something. For example, interacting in social situations in a way that promotes connection, understanding, joy, and laughter. And they're some of the metrics for harmonious social connection. But there is also a root factor here, a fundamental reason why you're experiencing the anxiety that holds you back to begin with. Something which, if you can do, you can not only become more socially confident, but overcome a whole host of fears and feel permanently empowered by a realization about who you are at the deeper level. This means you'll experience a sense of newfound freedom and unlock your ability to manifest the reality that you want to experience, because the quality of the reality that you create hinges heavily on the quality of the social interactions you have. And so it comes with understanding that you are not your thoughts. And I really want to have this sink in here because it's so important. You are not your thoughts. And even more accurately, to help you a little further here, you are not the sense of self in your thoughts. Yes, your thoughts are an aspect of you, but they're not essential to you, meaning they're not who you essentially are. If they were essential to you, when a thought disappeared, you would disappear, but you don't. You stay here, silently watching. And this is something that so many people simply haven't come to the realization of yet. And this misunderstanding creates untold suffering and confusion. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a thought about yourself that you later decided was untrue or overly emotionally charged, repetitive, or perhaps even downright useless? I think it's safe to say that if you're really honest with yourself, the answer is yes. In fact, many of us flip-flop between experiencing these thoughts that sometimes aren't so bothersome. Perhaps you think, okay, this is all right. I'm doing okay here. I'm not doing too bad. And then only an hour or so later, you're thinking, oh no, I'm not doing good enough. I'm failing. I'm not doing good enough. I'm a failure. And whilst you believe yourself to be the I in the story, you experience this suffering, this negative emotion, this contraction. You walk along in your life with a mind-made image self that you believe yourself to be, and you have a relationship with it. Often a negative one, or frankly, sometimes an abusive one. People can often get to the point where they're talking to themselves in the third person, mentally whipping themselves, saying, you see, you did it again. You're not good enough. You never get it right. You're a failure. And these thoughts have momentum to them. They keep rearing their ugly heads again and again. They're conditioned by the past, conditioned by messages that you've heard from friends and family or teachers, peers, media, and the TV. And this type of thinking, this mind-made image self, is dependent on comparisons to others. If you think that you're not socially confident, it's in comparison to someone else who, in your thinking, is apparently more socially confident. You only know yourself to be a certain level of something in comparison to other people, and you constantly compare yourself to others in order to see where you fit on this kind of imaginary ladder. Now, many people arrive at the realization that they can change their thoughts. You can do all kinds of things like journaling, affirmations, reading, writing, attending workshops in order to change your thinking and therefore change the sense of self in the thinking, change the mind-made self-image. And this is very helpful to a certain extent, because then the mind-made image self feels better, and it's a lot easier to carry out positive behaviors that are more in line with more empowered thoughts. But it doesn't solve the root dysfunction, which is unconscious identification with the thinking, with the sense of self in your thoughts. And if you're someone who experiences anxiety, you may currently have strong feelings that are triggered by certain situations, perhaps social situations. And when this anxiety, these strong feelings in the body are triggered, there is usually anxious, fearful thoughts that come along with them. You get this rush of adrenaline and stress hormones. You feel these intense sensations in your body and these intense thoughts in your mind, which identification with causes you to act unconfidently, to disappear into your head or to back out altogether. But what if you could actually use the anxiety to empower yourself and awaken? What if you could make the obstacle the way? Because it's identification with the thinking, remember, that's causing so much of the issue. And so what if you took some of your attention away from it and instead placed it on the feeling, the body sensations, to really allow the feeling, however intense, to come close, to welcome it in, get familiar with it, and investigate. Is the experience of this feeling prior to any thoughts that say it's unwelcome really that bothersome or uncomfortable? Just by shifting the attention onto the feeling, you're divesting the thinking of your energy and attention and instead shining the light of awareness on the sensations within the body. You're stepping out of being completely absorbed by thought, which is always about past and future, and using the feeling, the sensations in the body as an anchor to the present. You're using the body sensations to deepen your level of presence and awaken to the true you. And it's this investigation, this allowing of the feeling to wash over you, that will gradually help to dissolve the feeling and at least put some distance between you and these disempowering thoughts, helping you to stay rooted in the now, helping you to process your emotions and allow the energy to move through you, helping you to stay connected, not simply to the disempowering sense of self in the thoughts, but the empowered, aware, peaceful spaciousness that you truly are. You can know yourself to be the observer or knower of the thoughts and not just the sense of self in the thoughts. You can know yourself to be the wide open, spacious awareness within which the thoughts arise. This is the true you. And you can use the presence of strong feelings, strong bodily sensations that may be triggered by social situations as a call to awakening, to awaken you, to wake up from the dream of thought, from the dream of being the disempowered sense of self in the story, in the thinking, awakening into presence. And just hold it there. Just hold the feelings within you and be and act from that place. Even if the feelings are intense, realize they cannot take away from what you essentially are, this formless presence. Feel the sanity that comes with that. Feel the sanity that comes with stepping out of the whirlwind of bullshit in your head and into the clear spaciousness that you are. Because if you can lean into this, if you can start making this your home, this is where all of your natural confidence and charm will just arise from. I bet that you instinctively know the times where you've been in flow, feeling the most clear-headed and confident is not when you're overthinking, but when you're just present. Natural confidence arises not when you're stuck in your head. Natural confidence arises when you can feel that adrenaline pulse, and instead of interpreting it as a prompt to contract, instead embrace it. Use it as a call to awakening, as a call back to presence, and even as propulsion, as energy, as fuel for action, whether that be making conversation or deciding to go home because you're just not really resonating with these people right now. You can decide to do what you want to do instead of being pulled around by all the thinking. And you can tune into yourself as awareness and act on the natural impulses that arise from there, whether that's deeply listening to someone, cracking some jokes, telling some stories, or getting curious about others. And if the thinking pulls you in again, if the mind-made image self captures your attention again and you fall down that rabbit hole, no worries. You recognize that the thinking gets triggered by something and has momentum, and that may take some time to fully calm down. You recognize that as soon as you realize what's happened, you can stand aside from your thinking. You don't need to beat yourself up about it because you realize that that's just more thinking. And instead, you feel the sensations in the body. You become aware of yourself as the spacious presence, and you gradually rest in the peace that you naturally are. And so I hope you found this video helpful. Before you go, I want to tell you that what we've covered here today is just a taste of what I teach in my coaching program, the Consciousness Revolution program. If you want to tap into a new source of confidence, peace, calm, and creativity that comes with deeper presence, this program is for you. Or if you're a conscious entrepreneur that's taken some steps but would like to apply conscious teachings to find deeper peace and flow and presence and manifest what you want, this program is for you too. So head over to speaktoalex.com to book a time for us to chat about solving your problems. And with that being said, like this video if you liked it, and of course, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos helping you with conscious personal growth. Peace.